Good afternoon and good morning, everybody. Welcome back to the Blind Press YouTube channel and Coffee Stream episode 349. And it's another Monday. Flippin' flappin' Monday. I I'm just tired today. I'm still sore from falling down the stairs. Um I'm sorry that I'm so late in starting. My doctor was we I was supposed to have a telephone consult with my doctor at 11:15 and it ended up coming at 11:58. So, yeah, sorry about that, guys. So this week it's going to be a bit of a weird week. This is going to be the only coffee stream that we're going to have this week. I am going to do a Beat the Blind Girl stream tomorrow after my orientation and mobility lesson. And then I'm going to be off to Ottawa uh, and then we are going to so I will be there from Wednesday to Sunday. So I unless I decide to randomly fire up a stream from my tablet or phone while I'm there, uh there won't be any streams until, if I'm back on time on Sunday, maybe a blind and special, but I don't know. um we will we will see. Blind, suck it up, Buttercup, because the news rape train don't stop. He threw the cat on the steps. No, Pincalo was, poor Pincalo was pretty much dying in his office when I fell down the stairs. I was trying to bring him food, actually, and I ended up dropping the plate and didn't break it at all. Somehow. So let's see. Let's say hello to Gunfox, to Wikipedia Snippet, to W.R. Costin, to Becca Fairley, to Blake Hanley, to who else is here? Everyone else who hasn't yet said hello. Good evening, or good evening, good afternoon to all of you. I hope you're all doing fantastically this Monday morning. We have a few news stories here, and we're gonna get into them right now. Pincalo sent me these ones, and if I need some more, I can always go and grab some of Gunfox's. So there is no shortage of news. So first, we're gonna start with a story about Pfizer and their claims of an early COVID vaccine. Or early testing of a COVID vaccine, I should say. So, let's see here. See, I'd like to stream Trivial Pursuit with my mom, my sister, and my family friend, but two problems. They will keep calling me by my real name, and there will be music playing in the background that will kill my channel, because it will be just background music from the stereo. And yeah, so that sucks. Because a few, lol, more like I nuked your Discord. You did. Um, but yeah, our family friend has, thousands of CDs, but it's all copyright music, obviously. So, um, yeah, because listening to a game of Trivial Pursuit played by us, it's a treat. So, yeah, it I wish I could stream it. You guys would, I think you guys would get a kick out of it. Okay. So let's go and share this. Oh, I did share the screen already. Jesus Christ. Come on, Blind Press, get with it. We're very encouraged. Pfizer's early data says that their COVID-19 vaccine is 90% effective. Or looks 90% effective. Well, that is encouraging. That is very encouraging. Let's try and get to the body of the article so we can read more. Okay. All right. Ow! That's very loud in my ear.
Pfizer says an early peek at its vaccine data suggests the shots may be 90% effective at preventing COVID-19.
That's good.
Button.
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 And 5 more items.
Where's...
Linda A. Johnson and
there we
Lauren
go.
Mildred, The Associated Press. Linda A. Johnson, published Monday, November... Published last... Pfizer says an early peek at its vaccine data suggests the shots may be 90% effective at preventing COVID-19, indicating the company is on track later this month to file an emergency use application with U.S. regulators.
Okay.
Monday's announcement doesn't mean a vaccine is imminent. This interim analysis, from an independent data monitoring board, looked at 94 infections recorded so far in a study that has enrolled nearly 44,000 people in the U.S. and 5 other countries.
44,000 people. Okay.
Pfizer Incorporated did not provide any more details about those cases, and cautioned the initial protection rate might change by the time the study ends. Even revealing such early data is highly unusual.
Yeah, I am actually surprised that Pfizer would have released data this early. %90 effective and 10% will drop dead on the spot. Oh, probably.
Heading level 2, link image. This May 4th, 2020, file photo. We're in a position, potentially, to be able to offer some hope. Dr. Bill Gruber, Pfizer Senior Vice President of Clinical Development, told the Associated Press, "We're very encouraged."
Okay. Well, it's good that this is having such high results, but I mean, you still, like, you're only filing for an emergency use application maybe next month. How long will that take for an actual vaccine to be produced then?
Authorities have stressed it's unlikely any vaccine will arrive much before the end of the year, and limited initial supplies will be rationed.
I bet they will.
The shots made by Pfizer and its German partner BioNTech are among 10 possible vaccine candidates in late-stage testing around the world, 4 of them so far in huge studies in the U.S. Another U.S. company, Moderna Incorporated, also has said it hopes to be able to file an application with the Food and Drug Administration later this month.
So, yeah. So, by the end of the year, maybe, there might be a vaccine, and it is going to be rationed to shit. Like, there are going to be very angry people who are going to be very upset with who is getting the rationed vaccines. It's going to make people very angry.
Volunteers in the final stage studies, and the researchers, don't know who received the real vaccine or a dummy shot. But a week after their second required dose, Pfizer study began counting the number who developed COVID-19 symptoms and were confirmed to have the coronavirus. Because the study hasn't ended, Gruber couldn't say how many in each group had infections. Doing the math, that would mean almost all the infections counted so far had to have occurred in people who got the dummy shots. Pfizer doesn't plan to stop its study until it records 164 infections among all the volunteers, a number that the FDA has agreed is enough to tell how well the vaccine is working. The agency has made clear that any vaccine must be at least 50% effective.
But if they were given a COVID vaccine, wouldn't they test positive for COVID? Because a vaccine has to have some of the virus in it. Like, in inert form, but it still has to have some of the virus. I'm confused.
No participant so far has become severely ill, Gruber said, nor could he provide a breakdown of how many of the infections had occurred in older people, who are at highest risk from COVID-19. Participants were tested only if they developed symptoms, leaving unanswered whether vaccinated people could get infected but show no symptoms and unknowingly spread the virus.
Oh, are you talking about virus shedding? The anti-vaxxers' favorite thing about saying why vaccines don't work.
FDA has required that U.S. vaccine candidates be studied in at least 30,000 people, in addition to adequate numbers of older adults. Those studies must also include other groups at high risk, including minorities and people with chronic health problems.
Minorities are at higher? Okay.
And it told companies they must track half their participants for side effects for at least 2 months, the time period when problems typically crop up. Pfizer expects to reach that milestone later this month, but said Monday no serious safety concerns have been reported.
All right. Well, I guess that's a good thing. Wikipedia snippet. It's supposed to trigger antibodies. That's the whole point. That's what I thought. I thought that was, yeah, that was the whole point.
Because the pandemic is still raging, manufacturers hope to seek permission from governments around the world for emergency use of their vaccines while additional testing continues, allowing them to get to market faster than normal but raising concerns about how much scientists will know about the shots.
Yeah, that is a good question. Like, I mean, I'm not anti-vax by any means, but I also want to know how effective the vaccine is, what's in it. You know, it's just common sense to know what's being shot into your body. That's all.
The FDA's scientific advisors last month said they worry that allowing emergency use of a COVID-19 vaccine could damage confidence in the shots and make it harder to ever find out how well they really work. Those advisors said it's critical these massive studies are allowed to run to completion. Chrome has new win.
I can understand that.
Button.
I can very well understand that. Because this could be a rallying point for anti-vaxxers to jump on the efficacy of these vaccines because of the emergency use and how quickly they're being pushed out. That is a fear. That's a valid fear. So COVID-19 is racist. Yep. Let's see. Hello, ghost dog. The side effect could be worse than the cure. Yeah. Like that's a big fear. So it's, it's a double-edged sword for this. You obviously want to have a vaccine, but do you want to rush it? Do you want to potentially screw it up because you're rushing the vaccine? Like, it's not an easy place to be. All right. So, this article, I think, is like, I'm not sure what it's about, but I bet you it's about the election. But I could be wrong. All right. The bias is real, and it's also here in Canada. And it's an opinion piece by Anthony Fury. All right. Ow! Fuck off. Why do you gotta speak when I've asked you to stop speaking and I'm turning up the volume? Okay.
There are a number of remarkable facts and figures to have come out of the American election.
I'm sure there are.
Perhaps the most remarkable one is the massive number of votes received by Donald Trump. 4 years ago, in 2016, Trump garnered 63 million votes. This time, he received 70 million.
That's a lot of votes.
Heading level 2. That's quite something, for 7 million more Americans to turn out for Trump. Those votes didn't all come from Democrats flipping sides. Far from it, turnout in general rose significantly, with Joe Biden winning the popular vote with a count of around 74 million, 8 million more than Hillary Clinton's 2016 tally. Election.
But it was her turn.
Button. So why is Trump's much lower tally so impressive? Because it is the American people issuing a stunning rebuke to everything we have been told nonstop by the media, institutions and the broader establishment, that Trump has screwed up everything, is a dreadful person who loathes people of assorted demographics and that no one in their right mind would vote for him to be reelected.
Yep, exactly.
Story continues below. Third-party ad content. AMP Creative. End of. Third, and yet they did, more than before. The current exit polling breakdowns are interesting. They show that Trump received significantly more support this time around from black voters, women, Muslims, and more. The only group that he lost percentage support from is actually white males.
Yep.
Chrome has new window.
Yep, exactly. And you know what would be interesting? And I bet you we will see the same results in the next election here. We will see a stunning amount of black, female, LGBT votes from the for the Conservative Party. That's what I really think that's what's going to happen. And the guilty white people will vote for the, the Liberals or the NDP or whatever. I honestly think that's how it's going to be. Popular vote don't mean shit. Yeah. The mood says here it's beer and whiskey time. Ooh. I heard somewhere that tea time was around 5 p.m. in the UK. I'm Dutch, ask a Brit. Let's see.
What happened here? My guess is that after many people heard that Trump supposedly despised them because of who they were and that his policies would destroy their lives, they decided to research it for themselves and found that it wasn't at all true and that they actually liked some of what he was saying. In other words, the manic anti-Trump narrative largely backfired.
Ding! Ding, 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 ding! I wish I had a bell. I'm actually... you, if anyone was looking, you probably saw me going ding, ding with my index finger. Oh, man. Seriously, I wish I had a freaking bell. I'd be ringing it over and over and over again.
This bias is real and it's a problem. When approximately half of the electorate in a nation backs one candidate and party, you would think that this level of support should be reflected in how the candidate is discussed in broader society.
Uh-huh. You would think that, but, here we are. In Bizarro World.
Instead, so many members of the media and guiding figures of prominent institutions acted as if Trump was a fringe candidate who would only receive low single-digit support and that he and his supporters should only be brought up as an object of ridicule. You are currently on a text element. Unbeknownst to them, as many as half of the people they passed on the street were Trump voters. This is not a healthy scenario, to so aggressively deny the dignity and human agency of your fellow voters.
Yep. This is the problem. This is what is going on. People going, if you voted for Trump, then you're a racist and you're a horrible person and you don't like who I am. Like, you're not actually, my friend, or you're not actually in support of me. It's really, actually ringing the bell over and over would be annoying. So it's probably just as well. No, you're not wrong, Wikipedia. Let's see. The voting dead. Well, they made Paula Johnson in Canada.
Something similar happened in Canada. A recent Abacus data poll found that 25% of Canadians would have cast their ballot for Trump, with the remainder going to Biden. That's obviously a slam dunk win for the Democrats, but it means Trump support is far from non-existent.
Well, you guys should have pulled the freaking actual... Oh my god.
Story continues. Third-party AMP.
Why do people do this? Why don't they do polls for the conservative parties of their own country?
Think of it this way. Imagine being in a busy grocery store and knowing that 1 in 4 of your fellow shoppers were planning to vote Trump. That does not mean, as the smug Canadian elite attitude held, that the Canadian Trump supporter was some sort of rare bird on the cusp of extinction. WHO would vote button. While I cut the cord years ago and no longer get cable, I'm told that the number of panelists and pundits on the Canadian airwaves who offered an even vaguely positive assessment of the American president over the past 4 years was virtually nil. Again, this is a massive disconnect from what's really going on. When you combine this heavy bias with the latest round of big tech censorship, it's clear we have a societal problem that's much larger than just Donald Trump and the degree to which people support him or not. We have an elite segment of society that is, either willfully or due to ignorance, out of touch with the views of their fellow citizens.
I would say it's willful at this point. Because there are so many people who try to correct and clarify, and they just get met with, basically the debate equivalent of fingers in the ears and la 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 la. It's very, very sad.
While this setup may be working out just fine for them right now, you've got to think that things will only worsen for all if this phenomenon continues. Chrome has
If
link Aviary at post media.
if this phenomenon
You want
if this
Toronto
phenomenon is absolutely going to continue. And it's gonna, no matter what happens right now, whether Trump wins a lawsuit or Biden it actually wins and is the president, there's gonna be unrest in the states, and it's not gonna be pretty. Let's see here. So this next story made me giggle. The headline anyway, because I haven't read the whole thing. Here we are. Share screen. All right. So this story made me giggle because maybe I drink too much coffee. Maybe if I drink less coffee, I would clean my house more. It says, coffee may help with obsessive cleaning behaviors. Well, maybe I drink too much and that's why I don't have any cleaning behaviors. Sorry. Researchers from the University of Jerusalem found that a cup of joe is effective at reducing intrusive thoughts and compulsive behavior in germaphobes. Interesting. Let's take a listen to this. Like I said, maybe if I drank less coffee, I would actually want to clean more. Let's see. And it makes you look really silly putting your fingers in your ears and say la la la, I'm not listening. It does. It really does. Especially like it makes children look silly, and they're children. Can you imagine adults? Ow! Jesus
Chrome
Christ.
has new window.
That one was my fault.
Coffee. Is there anything it can do? Researchers are waking up to the potential of caffeine to provide relief to people struggling with obsessive compulsive disorders. A stimulating new study. Link. Published in the Journal of Anxiety Disorders. Has found that increasing inhibition levels with a cup of joe was effective at reducing intrusive thoughts and decreasing compulsive behavior in germaphobes.
Yep, that's it. I need to drink less coffee. That's why I don't clean. I drink.
What am I supposed to do about Jordy when I want to call him a black cat now? Am I not allowed to identify him that way?
Why?
I said to him, I said, get your little black ass off the steps, because he's like on the steps. But apparently that's a racist thing to say now.
What?
But he's all black. Even his teeth are fucking
Who
black.
said that was racist?
Something last night said that. I don't fucking know. Hello, world. Hello, Dolly. Is this thing on?
I'm confused. I have OCD and caffeine does seem to have a calming effect. cool. I can see that there is anecdotal evidence that coffee or that caffeine helps with ADHD. Yeah. What the fuck, says JP?
Our research demonstrates how arousal can help to stem compulsive behavior, said study author and psychologist Todor Naftalovich of the University of Jerusalem in an link interview with the Daily Mail. This could help clinicians control patients' compulsive symptoms and deliver better treatment outcomes.
Yeah, maybe I should have less coffee. Then maybe I would actually want to clean more. Although I did clean the bathroom this morning before the show, so, I mean, yeah.
OCD is a mental health condition that occurs when a person gets stuck in a cycle of unwanted obsessions and compulsions. Link. According to the International OCD Foundation, Chrome has the disorder manifests in the form of compulsions, intrusive thoughts, images or urges that prompt patients to perform various compulsions in an attempt to decrease the distressing feelings that result. While many people believe they have some degree of OCD, diagnosis is dependent on a cycle of behavior so extreme it interferes with a person's life.
Hi,
You are
Jordy.
currently on a text element.
Black cat. Black cat is better than white cat. Because black cat is black. So look. Even his little nails. Look at his little paws. They're black too. Look at his little gums. He's go black. He's all black. He's this skinny little black kitty.
He's gonna bite your face. Ow!
There you go.
Ow! Ow! Asshole.
Come on, Jordy. We did our work. Our job is done. Come now. Okay, bye.
Fuck, that hurt. Hello, Sunseal. I arrive and suddenly black teeth are racist. I know a lot of built up tar smokers that are gonna be pissed. No, the cat doesn't smoke. That's just how he is. Yes, like Geordie LaForge. Yes, like... No, the cat's not blind too. He's just... Ah! That was loud.
To test their hypothesis, researchers recruited 47 people.
And then the one that you guys are always... Sorry, Jordy. Then the ones you guys are always listening to is this one. This fat one.
That's the loud one. Don't put him on my head.
This one.
Hi. He's very heavy. Yes, this is...
He just gives no cares. He just doesn't care.
Notification center.
What is it? What is it? The Dillygaff cat?
Yeah. That's spelled Dilligaff. Dillygaff. Do I look like I give a fuck?
That's Ninja. Pet 1, blind 0. Round 2, fight! The loud cat's name is Ninja. Doesn't Blind Press know that cats belong on heads? Only when you're sleeping, not while you're sitting up.
Close. Irate prostate. Close. Axe visual support agent. Black. To test their hypothesis, researchers recruited 47 people who suffered from contamination fears, an OCD subtype, and a resulting compulsive cleaning behavior. Participants were given a cup of coffee, some regular strength, some decaf, and then asked to touch a mock dirty diaper and wait as long as possible before washing their hands.
Oh, that's... Okay, that's not an if you touch a dirty diaper, even if you're not OCD, you're gonna want to wash your hands. What kind of test is that? That's silly. Why, of course you're gonna want to wash your hands after you touch a dirty diaper. Why wouldn't you have given them, like, a counter that they might envision bacteria on and see how long they could wait before scrubbing the counter, or like a floor that you dump something onto and wait to see how long it takes them to clean the floor. Like, I don't know, that's silly. That's not testing, that's woke people science. Exactly.
Heading Level 2. Learn article. You are link. A look back at Chrome has new window.
That can't be all of the article. Let me That can't possibly be it. No way. Okay, good. I was gonna say, they can't possibly have ended the article there, but they just put a whole stack of links in the middle of it. Okay, here we go.
Participants in the caffeine exhibited significantly lower subjective distress and urges to wash their hands both after stimulus and while cleansing behavior, researchers wrote. Similarly, the caffeine group resisted the urge to compulsively cleanse for about twice as long as those in the no caffeine group. You are correct.
But you're not compulsively cleansing your hands if you touched a dirty diaper. That's just normal behavior. Oh my god.
Time spent washing their hands, when the caffeine group finally gave in, was similar across both groups, as was subjective distress levels and the urge to wash their hands again later. You are correct. Increased arousal due to caffeine intake may increase inhibition, which in turn may play a crucial role in stopping intrusive thoughts, such as disgust, urges, and compulsive cleansing in individuals with high contamination fears, the researcher said.
Okay. I get their premise, but I find the testing a little silly. But all right.
Patients and clinicians will find it useful to know that it is more feasible to control symptoms during times of high arousal and can use this knowledge to improve treatment outcomes. Arousal should be considered as a new treatment target by both psychopharmacological and psychotherapy scientists.
Arousal.
Approximately 1 to 2% of the Canadian population will experience an OCD episode at some point in their lives. Link. With women. Link. According to the Canadian Psychological Association. With women slightly more likely to develop the disorder than men, symptoms usually manifest themselves in the late adolescent years, with very few people experiencing an OCD episode for the first time after age 40. Some studies have pointed to abnormalities in specific pathways of the brain as being connected to OCD, but the cause remains largely unknown. There is little evidence the condition is inherited, but genetic factors have not been ruled out.
I wonder why after 40, they usually don't experience a first episode.
This year has been a trying time for OCD sufferers, if not the rest of the population, with the spread of COVID-19 likely amplifying obsessions and compulsions. The International OCD Foundation has published link a list of helpful tips for people struggling with 3 common subtypes of the disorder: contamination fears, perfectionism, and those with thoughts of harming others. The informative site is a good place to start for you or anyone you know in need of a helping hand. Chrome has
Wait. Thoughts of harming others is an OCD type? Okay, I didn't know that. I figured that was just called being a homicidal maniac. Okay. Thoughts of harming others is an obsessive compulsive type. I see. Okay. Cool, I guess. Arousal as a treatment? I mean, that's not new. Sex has been used for generations. Putting too many links in the article will send you to accessibility hell. Yep. Let's see. Yes, people with OCD will have intrusive thoughts they find abhorrent. Ah. If that's OCD, then all those Portland rioters should be in straitjackets. Alright. So this next story is about Steve Harvey's daughter. I actually didn't know about this. Okay. So this story is titled Steve Harvey's daughter Lori gets probation for hit and run case. Fantastic. All right. Ow, fuck off. Why do you keep doing that voiceover?
Model Lori Harvey has struck a plea deal to avoid jail in her Los Angeles hit-and-run case. The stepdaughter of comedian Steve Harvey was accused of crashing her Mercedes-Benz G-Wagon into a parked car while driving through Beverly Hills in October 2019, and then leaving the scene before police could arrive to investigate, even though the force of the collision was enough to flip her vehicle on its side.
Jesus Christ! How fast was she going?
A G-Wagon is essentially a Mercedes tank. It's like an SUV.
Ah. Okay.
Central News F frame. She was charged with misdemeanor counts of resisting/delaying/obstructing a peace officer and hit and run resulting in property damage, and pleaded not guilty in January. However, Lori has since reached an agreement with prosecutors to settle the case and appeared before a judge last week when she pleaded no contest to resisting arrest, according to Link TMZ.
So she basically, oh, I hate when this happens. You plead out, just serve your jail time. You could have killed somebody.
Period. In exchange, the 23-year-old, who split from rapper Future over the summer, was sentenced to 2 years of probation.
Ooh.
Link. View on Toronto list for items. Share on Twitter.
2 years
End
of
of the link, heading
probation.
level
Ooh.
Frame 2.
What a. She'll definitely learn her lesson then. That shit makes me mad. That stuff really pisses me off. People who drive recklessly, there should be no tolerance for that. None. Let's see here. So this is a story about prisons. And I have a feeling I may be getting pretty angry about it. Pink Hollow sent me this. The funny thing is, I actually found it, and I was looking to put it in my DMs for myself, and then I checked the DMs from Pink Hollow, and it was already there. And I was like, oh, well, all right then. I will not put it in my DMs. So this is from the CBC. Case challenges horrific prison surveillance. Some consider harsher than solitary confinement. Okay. Let's see what they're talking about here. This is a picture of somebody who experienced 16 days in something called a dry cell. Let's see what this is here. Let's see.
Advocates for women in prison are heading to the Nova Scotia Supreme Court in Truro, NS, on Monday, aiming to end a practice they say amounts to torture in federal prisons.
Okay.
The use of dry cells involves keeping prisoners in a cell with round-the-clock lighting and without a flushing toilet or running water. They are watched through a glass window by guards, and security cameras are on 24 hours a day, even while prisoners are using the toilet.
Oh, but how would they? Okay, but if they're not if they're using the toilet, how are they not flushing? Like, is it a hole in the ground?
The cells are used for male and female inmates suspected of ingesting or hiding contraband inside their bodies. Prisoners are watched until the item is removed through the person's bodily waste.
Oh, that's what a dry cell is. Okay.
The woman at the center of the case is Lisa Adams, who is almost finished serving a 2-year sentence for drug trafficking at the Nova Institution for Women, a federal prison in Truro. You are...
So wait, she was convicted of a drug offense, a federal drug offense, drug trafficking. She was suspected of having contraband in her or inside her, so they put her in a dry cell to wait for the contraband to come out. And I would hate to be the person who had that job, searching through the bodily waste to find the contraband. I'd be like, I want an insanely high pay rate for that. But so I don't see a problem with that. I don't. If you're convicted of a drug offense and you're suspected of hiding contraband on your person in the jail and you're not talking, well, then, yeah, you get to go into a dry cell. I don't... If you're gonna break the law and continue to break the rules in prison, then you're obviously not wanting to be reformed. So... what's the problem here? It's not like they're... How is this torture?
For me, on a base level, I'd like to have the idea of dry celling removed from female institutions, Adams said in a telephone interview from Nova Institution supervised by the Correctional Service of Canada CSC.
Why... Okay, wait. Why just female institutions? Why is it disrespectful and indignatious... That's not a word. And against the dignity, there you go, of the female. But it's fine for men to be put into these dry cells, because the article stated that these were used for both men and women. So why do these women only care about female inmates and dry celling? If dry celling is so bad and so akin to torture, why would you not want it abolished from all prisons, not just female prisons? Oh, wait, because you don't actually care about the dry cell thing itself. You just care about who is affected. And all you care about is the gender and the sex of those affected. And so what's between their legs?
Adams, 33, spent more than 2 weeks in a dry cell in May, before a doctor's examination determined she did not have any foreign objects in her body. You are current?
Okay, well then they were wrong. But, if you are convicted of a drug offense and you're suspected of having contraband, that's a reasonable suspicion. If you're like, it'd be different if she was, convicted of, say, armed robbery, and they're like, or even arson or something like that. Say she was an arsonist, and they're like, you have drugs in your body. That wouldn't make sense, right? Because but if you're a drug trafficker and they're like, we have reason to believe you have drugs in your body.
Center, 12,
that's not a hard leap. That's...
Adams, list one item, bullet link, end of the list one item, bullet link, end of the... A way that, because I'm not naive to the fact that drugs are an issue, and there has to be a means to prevent that, I'm hoping that potentially there could be an overhaul throughout all of CSC to find a new way to prevent this from happening, she said.
Now it's through all of Correction Services Canada, not just for female institutions.
A way that's less invasive, that's more trauma-informed, and that takes into account the value of the individual as well as the security of the institution.
More trauma-informed? Okay, cool.
Adams has dealt with an addiction to methamphetamines for many years, as well as diagnosis of several mental disorders, including bipolar disorder and depression.
Okay.
She was released on day parole in March but was rearrested in May, just after using crystal meth again. She was returned to Nova Institution, strip searched and put through a body scanner.
Yeah, because she fucked up.
Black. The Nova Institution for Women, like other prisons, uses dry cells, where prisoners are kept in a cell with round-the-clock lighting and surveillance and without a flushing toilet or running water. The cells are used for inmates suspected of ingesting or hiding contraband inside their bodies. Patrick Callahan's staff also, no drugs were found in that scan, but several days later prison authorities re-examined the same images and changed their minds, saying they believed Adams was hiding several packages in her vagina that they described as small and round, resembling balloons.
Okay.
Staff also did a scan of her living quarters and found traces of meth on Adams's belongings. A urine test also came back positive for meth. Adams told guards these were traces that remained from when she used the drug before being rearrested. She told guards she did not have any meth in her possession. Adams was then placed in a dry cell for 16 days. Expressing concern about a medical issue, she was eventually able to convince authorities to let a doctor examine her. The examination showed nothing in her vagina. List one item.
Okay. So this could have been classified as a misconduct case on the institution's part, but I don't think we need to leap to getting rid of something that is a tool. Let's see here. What's chat saying? Hey, Selecta Boy. Let's see here. Let's see. Because people care more about females, apparently. They seem to. They really do.
Bullet. Link. And there were some days I felt very strong and determined, because I knew that I was the wrong person to have in there and to try this out on, she said. Other days I felt completely hopeless. I felt like I was not seen as a human being. Chrome has Adams describes her family in St. John as supportive and amazing. She has 2 sons who live with their mother. There were times when she believed that she would not see them again. I wrote a letter to my mother, my father. I started to write one to my children to say goodbye to them, she said.
Oh, come on. They were feeding you. You just, it was uncomfortable. It sucked. I get it. It sucked. But you weren't gonna die in there. Come on.
Heading level 2. I felt like I was losing. Notes from Adams' healthcare staff filed by her lawyers with the court showed that about a week after she entered the dry cell, Adams had a dissociative break. She was mumbling to herself incomprehensibly, was unable to follow directions, pulled at her hair and continuously rubbed her hands up and down her arms. She was jumpy and appeared scared at noises and sudden movements. By the time it was getting near the end, I felt like I was losing my mind. Quite literally, I felt paranoid, Adams said.
You had just done meth!
Play federal. Lisa Adams spent 16 days in a Nova Scotia prison dry cell with no running water or flushing toilet. Guards believed she had concealed drugs in her vagina, but a doctor later found nothing. Nathalie, 29. List one item. Bullet. End of the list. There were times staff were required to observe her and make regular notes in a log at least every 15 minutes. There were times I would look up and they were always writing and looking at me, she said. Because I knew that I didn't have anything, I started to feel panicky and very paranoid. You are currently on. Adams said she did not know how long her time in the dry cell would last, and she became afraid that something worse would happen to her. Slowly, having that monitoring kind of drove me off the deep end, for lack of a better way to say that. You are That experience of being observed that exists in the dry cell is almost incomprehensible to many of us, says Emma Halpern, executive director of the Elizabeth Fry Society of Mainland Nova Scotia, which is backing Adams' legal challenge. David Laughlin/CPC.
Well, no, we wouldn't. But most of us are law-abiding citizens. I don't know what to say.
Advocates for women in prison are heading to the
So it's popped up to the top again for me. I don't know what to say. Like it, I may sound like a heartless bitch, but going through withdrawal will do that exactly. It's I don't know what to say. Like you did meth again. You were going through withdrawal. You were coming down. Like what do you expect, lady? So this is the last story I have pulled up. So here we are. Oh. Come on. There we go. Okay. So here is a space sciencey article. Yeah. It could also be, withdrawal essential. Exactly. Okay. 300 million habitable planets exist, NASA says. That's pretty cool. This is a Fox News article. Okay. Stop it.
More than 4,500 exoplanets have been discovered so far, with only a small portion thought to have the properties to contain life. A new study suggests that a galaxy may actually contain link.
Oops.
More than 4,500 exoplanets have been discovered so far, with only a small portion thought to have the properties to contain life. A new study suggests that a galaxy may actually contain 300 million.
Wow.
Link. Planets capable of supporting life. You are correct. Link. Research. Analyzed data from the Kepler Space Telescope and found approximately half the stars that have a similar temperature to the link Sun, plus or minus up to 1,500 degrees Fahrenheit, could also be orbited by rocky planets with liquid water on their surfaces. Chrome has.
Oh, very cool.
Kepler already told us there were billions of planets, but now we know a good chunk of those planets might be rocky and habitable, said the study's lead author, Steve Bryson, in a link statement. Though this result is far from a final value, and water on a planet's surface is only one of many factors to support life, it's extremely exciting that we calculated these worlds are this common with such high confidence and precision.
Yeah, that is pretty cool. 300 million though is still pretty small number if you compare the amount of planets. Swiss head cheese. It would probably take several years to travel. Yep. It's brain damage. Meth makes Swiss cheese of the brain. Yep. Yep, yep, yep.
This illustration depicts one possible appearance of the planet Kepler 452b, the first near-Earth-sized world to be found in the habitable zone of a star similar to our Sun. Credits, NASA AIM/JPL Caltech/T Pile image.
Very cool.
This illustration link. Extraterrestrial life on the closest 1,000 stars to Earth could see U.S. experts. Chrome, the Kepler Space Telescope, which was launched in 2009, was link retired in 2018 after it ran out of fuel.
Yeah.
The new study, which is slated to be published in the Astronomical Journal, looked at the relationship between the temperature of the star and the light an orbiting planet absorbed, expanding the scope of researchers. You are currently.
Oh, very cool.
We always knew defining habitability simply in terms of a planet's physical distance from a star, so that it's not too hot or cold, left us making a lot of assumptions, said study author Ravi Kaparapu. Gaia's data on stars allowed us to look at these planets and their stars in an entirely new way.
Sweet. That is so exciting. So now, like, we're able to not just see how far they are from the star, but start seeing what they're made of and, what's on them, and this is awesome. I'm so happy that I'm alive during this age of space exploration.
Not every star is alike, Kaparapu added, and neither is every planet. Link. 24 potential superhabitable. In their findings, the researchers also. Link. In their findings, the researchers also said there are at least 4 potentially habitable exoplanets within 20 to 30 light years from Earth. A light year,
Cool.
which measures distance in space, is approximately 6 trillion miles.
Okay.
To me, this result is an example of how much we've been able to discover just with that small glimpse beyond our solar system. Bryson, a researcher at NASA Ames Research Center, added, "What we see is that our galaxy is a fascinating one, with fascinating worlds, and some that may not be too different from our own."
Yeah.
In October, a separate group of researchers link discovered 24 potential superhabitable planets that may have conditions more suited to host life.
Oh,
You are
cool.
currently on a link. Click here to get the Fox News app. Follow Chris Cia on Twitter at link image.
See, this stuff is
Chrome
so
has a new
freaking
window.
awesome. I love this. I love this stuff. It is so fascinating, and I really wish that I could look through a telescope. I really do wish I could do that. That's why I'm such a big nerd about space things. And if you look up, NASA has actually made um, recordings of the different sounds of the planets. And it's so fascinating. Um, I don't know if I would get, if I would get, it takes ridiculous amounts of energy to travel through space. It does. You're right. But yeah, I don't know if I'd get hit for that. But the NASA stuff is so freaking, the space sounds are so awesome. Um, it's, it's fascinating. Because they've translated the radio waves into sound. Or the the magnetospheres. So, I'm only gonna do about an hour today, guys, because my back is killing me from cleaning the bathroom, and I'm still hurting from the cat. So I'm gonna end now that because I've gotten all the stories done. Um, I also need to go and prepare the the meat for the burgers. Because Pincalo's gonna make burgers tonight, and so I need to go and get the meat ready for that. Um, Tomorrow I am gonna do a Beat the Blind Girl stream at probably 1:30. Just I'm gonna say 1:30 to be on the safe side. Just in case my orientation and mobility lesson goes a little bit long. And then, unfortunately, we will not be doing any coffee streams for the rest of the week. So, unfortunately, you won't be seeing much of me this week, but I will, be posting on Twitter and stuff like that. So, keep an eye out on that. Thank you for watching. Please consider going to blindpress.net, grabbing yourself some merch, or throwing in a donation. It's greatly appreciated. Thank you to everybody for watching, and catch me tomorrow at 1:30 for Beat the Blind Girl. Have a great day, guys. Thank you. Bye.